Hello everyone, welcome to part 8 of my Neopets the Darkest Faerie All Bosses Speedrun tutorial series. So fresh off of a battle with, I believe, our 4th boss, the Plague Serpent, we leave Bogshot Swamp and immediately come to the entrance of Bogshot Village. And then past the save point at the entrance, there's a ledge, and we're just going to jump onto that ledge and do a ledge fly, a low angle ledge fly into this wall. So you can kind of feel it out, but yeah, basically you want to kind of be a little bit back from the ledge so that you get down rather than fly straight out. There we go, mission accomplished. So what I'm looking for now, we have still this mound texture on the left. I'm going to run straight towards the kind of edge-ish of it, and then just keep running straight from there. If you run into an invisible wall, just jump, keep running straight forward. So once you're out of that part, we have these cyclones here, which are kind of the indicators for where we need to go to save each area. We're gonna run towards the left side of the far left one. And there we go, exactly as that should go. So now we're up here in the kind of entrance area to Bogshot, where Step Plateau is. Now, if you don't want to do that part of the out of bounds, you can just leave normally, and then once you get to, I can even just show it. Once you get to this area, you can then just do a mega jump up here. So, there we go. Then we come out here. And we're going to follow around the left side of these trees and then come into this gap in the terrain here. And then for some reason, the spot to go in bounds here is oddly precise. Like the invisible wall extends pretty far out here. So there we go. And at this point, basically we just come out towards Crossroads, and we're in the main area of it right now. So normally in runs at this point, my Mirka Speed Potion runs out, so I would switch to Roberta now to make sure I don't waste any of it. And we do have to be Roberta for the next boss, just because it's faster. Like, not out of pure necessity. I should make that clear. So we're going to come around here. Try not to trigger Gord's text just because it's a minor time loss. And then come towards the path to Meridel. You can see the sign says, to the Kingdom of Meridel. And we're going to come to this waterfall here. We're going to do a ledge fly into it. So try to get as straight an angle as you can. It's not too difficult. It's just a little finicky with the way that this particular ledge is to try to actually get close enough to it to get a straight angle. There we go. Got one there. I actually was kind of hoping that I would land in the water there, but if you don't get far enough to just land straight up here, you'll probably land in the water. And if you land in the water plane out there, just go to the edge of it, jump out of the edge of it, and then you should be up here. So now we're going to follow this cliff wall to my right. And then once we get to where this waterfall area is here, now there's a lot of weird collision if you try to actually run across that waterfall for some reason. So I like to go out of bound, or like past the cliff texture just before it. And then basically we're going to keep following all of this out of bounds grass collision. Like the edge of it, for a little while, and you can actually kind of just skip over this part. So run straight forward, and then you should upward back up onto it. And then keep going through the wall. And then we come through here. So that little, that black texture that's loaded there. This area now is the entrance to Wereloop Woods. So now we have this black texture here, and again, I would like to reiterate, I don't know if I've made this clear enough over the all the videos I've made in this series, but emulator loading is a lot faster than console loading. So if like you're looking for things that you see in this video in terms of like how things load and you're playing on console, you probably won't have the same kind of luck that I do. I don't know if I made that clear enough again, but you know, I figured I'd mention it because and this is just the best that I can do with what I have. But I'm gonna kind of take this part pretty slow because this is by far, in my opinion, the most difficult out of bounds of the run. So the area where this is just a black triangle that's kind of sticking out here, run through to the right, to the left, excuse me, run through to the left of it. We came from the right. And now we see down there, we have that kind of platform that has kind of rocky texture on it. We're going to run down onto that. Now, from here on out, until we get into the Wereloop King fight, I need to point out, this is probably, like I said, this is by far the most difficult out of bounds of the run. So things are going to be moving fast, and I'm going to try to take my time, and I might repeat over some things. So to start this part, run down onto that, and then turn sharply left and keep running. I almost ran out of Mirka Speed Potion there. So now here we have Wereloop Woods proper loaded in. But obviously the game still sees us as being in Western Brightvale, just barely. So we're going to run around the left side here. Now we have like the campfire area right here of Wereloop Woods, and then there's this kind of bulging bit that sticks out to the left. And it does make kind of, here you can maybe see with my like wand trail. It makes kind of an invisible wall. So like trying to run forward here, invisible wall. Can't go far inside that. So once we get around that bulging bit, I like to make a right turn. Not too sharply right, because there actually is a spot here where, and it actually, I hit it just before by going into this, I think this was it right here, the like brown wall texture under the grass there. So take a right turn, not too sharp, and then you want to go basically until you hit the collision loads of Wereloop Woods, and maybe I can show on the zone map here. So okay, so we came around this right side, and then we're looking to hit kind of like this area here, probably, I'd say. So run forward, and then there we go. So now we've hit that, and now we have the Wereloop Woods map loaded. And I should reiterate, this is probably a spot where you're going to want to hold L2 almost the entire time, just so that you don't go into free fall. So now at this point, I actually use my map a little bit. I look to get right kind of tucked up under the big skull in the map here, like in this little gap right here. So it's kind of a loose area. Okay, so I stopped for a moment there. Okay, it kind of teleported me back a little bit. Okay, there we go. So that is a weird out of bounds. Sometimes I have to get like all the way up into here a little bit to get this area loaded. Sometimes I need to actually hit a piece of collision, and sometimes it'll just load in. Thankfully for me this time, it just loaded in. So all of that out there is the Wereloop burrows. So that's exactly what we want. What we're going to do now is turn around, and I can also show the zone map here. See if I can zoom out a little bit. Yeah. Oh goodness, this is taking a while. All right. So, well, we're looking for this kind of square part with bits sticking out right here. We're looking to come around it and then hit this corner. We could, I suppose technically we could go through here, but yeah, I doubt there's a good visual cue for that. But maybe in the future. Someone will be crazy enough. So what I do for this part is I use this big cliff texture as a visual cue. I run around the left of it. And then there we go. So now this is the area that we're going to want to hit, but we don't want to hit it in this part of it. So we want to come around the side. We need to be careful because I think the collision of the floor actually sticks out a little bit past where you can see, but B, there's that little tunnel that's loaded in up there that we absolutely do not want to hit. So be sure to go around that. And there we go. And again, I'll load the zone map real quick. So now we're good. Now we could, and there's no other there's like no other areas. See, like all of this over here, none of this is close enough that we should be in any danger of hitting any of it. So take a bit of a wide line here because this spot, I know for a fact that this spot has collision that extends out a little bit because I actually use that to my advantage here. So as we get around this this side of this platform collision here, you want to get a decent distance away from the edge. Take an angle. We're not aiming directly at the corner there. We're aiming just a little bit away from it because, again, the collision extends out a little bit, and our goal is to hit just the edge of the collision. So at this point, what should happen is I should run straight forward and get straight into the Wereloop King fight, or like onto the platform where it is. But if not, that's okay because there's an easy backup for it. Okay, got the up warp. Oh, okay. So that actually was really, really close to working. So I fell off. I was... this is annoying that the camera's like this. I was up on this platform here. And what I would do in that case is just jump forward. So away from the ledge. Forward, and you'd be into the fight. And in fact, you can see that that's the ledge right here. So I'm actually going to real quickly go. So basically what you do at this point is just mega jump up into the fight. I'm going to go back real quick and show the other alternative of what happens if you don't get immediately into the fight or into this waterfall area here. Okay, so I am back at the spot just before the up warp where we would get into the Wereloop King fight. So I'm going to go a little bit slow on purpose. So get the up warp, get down. Oh no, we didn't get into the fight. We didn't even get in bounds. Man, that's a shame. So if we come up here, we can actually see the waterfall area that we were in earlier, that we mega jumped into the fight from. So again, you can see right here. You can't even jump in bounds here actually, which is funny because you very clearly get in bounds, but I digress. So we can't get into the fight, can't do anything, blah blah blah. If we land in this area, so if we get far enough away from it, it looks like it the wall texture disappears, but we turn around and we're looking for like this kind of pillar here, I guess. We're gonna run towards it around the side. We should get a brief up warp, just like what happened there. And then we're just gonna run into it. Jump in bounds. And then There we go. We can mega jump into the fight now. So we have a little bit more difficult moat menuing. I'll explain before we get into the fight how the strat works. So it may still need refining, but I mean, I haven't touched this category aside from this tutorial since I got my PB, my most recent PB. So, and it felt really good. So it's just what I've been going with. Basically, the Wereloop King, he has 3 phases. I don't know if there's like an actual attack difference for the most part between them. I don't think he does his like ground pound attack until at least the 2nd phase, but basically the first 2 phases gonna use the supernova moat to attack him. Mostly 3-hit combos, but if you want you can do just spam attacks, and we are using the power potion for this obviously. It's mostly going to be 3-hit combos for the first 2 phases with the Supernova mode. And then once we get into the final phase, equip the Nova mode and just spam attack him. So, I'm going to do all this real quick. I missed. There we go. So now we come in here. Power potion. How am I doing the lunge attack there? Okay. Oh. And yeah, Roberta very frequently targets other wereloops, but there we go. So, put my Miracle Speed Potion quickly as well. And there we go, yeah. So, I'm just going to keep doing this. Jeez. Oh my goodness. I'm getting shreked. So that's basically the strat, and there you go. So those are the first 2 phases. Again, Supernova, 3-hit combos. And then we equip the Nova mote and just spam attack him. And actually, usually after a couple of these, it just entirely prevents him from doing his ground pound attack, and the fight's done. Quick text glitch. And now we're going to leave. So we're going to go back through the waterfall into this area and then come straight out. And then we are going to open this chest here. So this chest has a lava moat in it. The lava moat is going to be useful for our next boss. Not our next boss, excuse me, the boss after our next, which is the Jumpy Monster. So we open that, and then we just leave. And we're gonna climb up these little ledges here, and then we're gonna jump up onto this one. And then, you know what, I'm gonna kill this guy. Hang on. Yeah, get absolutely destroyed. Okay. So we climb up onto this last one. Not particularly strict positioning, once again. So, my queue. So over on the left here, we have, you might not be able to see it very well, but it's like a kind of mismatch of collision or something. There's this line where 2 pieces of collision meet. I put my camera so that it's just about cutting that off. So right here should be good. And then we do a ledge fly facing that. Okay, so that was actually a little bit, oh, excuse me. That was actually a little bit too far to the left. So here we go. You can see it's there. We'll cut that off a little bit more. And there we go. So that's the ideal situation of what happens there. So if if you don't quite get the ledge fly to instantly upwarp you onto that, you can just kind of run back in the same direction that we shoot towards, and you should get the upwarp. And then you're immediately going to jump backwards off of it. I know I didn't explain that before I did it, but that's what you do. Now, maybe I can show the zone map if it would actually load. Here we go. Okay. We're going to come around all of this. So I don't really use visual cues very much here, but I take a wide line out here, and then we have all that up there. So I'm actually not going to run too close because I don't want things to load. Right between Roberta's ears right now, there's this right here. There's like kind of a hallway. So I look to run straight towards that hallway from here, from roughly straight on. And once all this disappears, when I start running, it should start looking more clear. There we go. So keep running. Okay. So I didn't get inbounds right away. This is where things get very finicky again. Out of bounds here kind of sucks. So basically just run to... Okay, I got very lucky. Run towards... I'm going to jump back out here real quick. Basically, if you don't immediately upwarp into like the corridor there, just run towards it. So you can see right up there is the skull, which is the entrance to where Loop burrows. It's kind of digging down into the ground, or through the ground. We can see it. Run towards the hallway, and you can run towards the head, but I find that's a little bit too volatile to work. So there we go, into the hallway. You can do the text glitch for that, obviously, and then just jump out. And that is it for this part. So I'm going to continue. Actually, we switch to Tor right now. So at this point, we're going to leave again. Just leave where Loop was the normal way. Go all the way back to the entrance. And then I'll start the next part there. Excuse me, Mr. Wereloop. It's not very nice of you. So we come all the way through here, past the campfire area. And there we go. So we're coming towards the entrance. I'm going to save here, so I have a good place to start off the next part. At which point we will be going through the Gellert Assassin fight, which is when the out of bounds gets slightly less crazy, I suppose. Actually, no, not even really. So I will be back for that one.